Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to AVX Live. I'm Joe Gilderson, President of Corporate Audio Visual Services. And for the first time in 2023, I am flying solo today. Mr. Finch, my co-host extraordinaire, is running an event in Manhattan. What can I do? He's a busy guy. But good luck, Mr. Finch. We hope all goes smoothly. But last week, in our last episode, we had event planner extraordinaire Charisse Jervis Hill from Events to Remember, and she was preparing everyone on how to get event ready for 2023. And this week, we're going to go a little different direction. We're going to have a discussion about technology and software and how it relates to the PR community in public relations. So we're going to have some fun with that. Great guest today. But before we do that, let me take, Mr. Finch's part and let you know about when we do this program. Okay, we do it every Wednesday, 1 p.m. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. While you're there, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I mean, he'd have you smash it, but I'm just saying you can hit it. You don't have to smash it. Either way, make sure you like. And of course, look, you can drop us a comment on any one of those channels and we'll bring you into the show. We'll have a little discussion. And then after the show, if you didn't get a chance to see it, there's going to be some small clips on Instagram and Facebook. We like to chop up the video, like my friend Andrew would say, little shark bites, But either way, we're going to have a great time today. And maybe it's time to get started. All right, we're going to do that. Let me just switch over. I got a few things to do today, but let me tell you a little bit about today's guest, a seasoned and well-respected advisor to her clients. Christina Rae founded Buzz Creators in 2009. Her expertise includes public relations, marketing, social media, and brand building. She has built communications programs from the ground up for small businesses and startup companies, as well as enhancing and expanding communications programs at corporations. Before founding Buzz Creators, Christina was Vice President, Executive Communications at CIT Group and MasterCard Worldwide. Christina was named a C-suite leader by the Westchester Fairfield County Business Journal 2022 and one of Westchester County's most accomplished women entrepreneurs by 914 Inc. She also was selected by the Business Council of Westchester as a Rising Stars Westchester 40 Under 40. She received a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communications from Pace University. Christina is a strong believer in paying it forward and has volunteered for numerous nonprofits, including the American Heart Association, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the Ty Lewis Campbell Foundation, Alliance for Safe Kids, and many more. She truly lives by the mantra, work hard, play hard. So please welcome Christina Rae.
Hey, Joe. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. And you went through a list of some fabulous people earlier. So shout out to Ryan. I hope he's having a great day, even though he's missing our fun today. And your former guest, Charisse, is a good friend of mine as well. She's fabulous too. So it's really nice that Westchester is such a small, county that we all know each other and get to see each other pretty often at events and so forth.
I think you are absolutely right. But I'm kind of glad that Mr. Finch is not here today because otherwise he would just monopolize the whole conversation.
Gives us more time to talk.
Well, I mean, this is good. We had mentioned that a lot of times we're very much in passing and they're quick conversations. And today we get to have a real conversation. So
we are.
I'm excited.
I tend to like being more behind the scenes. I know, like, when I first went into PR, my father always said, like, don't they know how great you are? You should be on camera. And I was like, the role of a PR person is more behind the scenes. We put other people in front of us as a spokespeople.
Yeah, well, and you guys do a very good job of it too. I mean,
Thank you.
I saw a few people. I know a lot of your team here. Like, you got a great team.
Thank you. We do have a great team here. I feel very blessed.
But I think we probably just start at the beginning, right? So tell me, how did you get into public relations and why did you start your own agency 14 years ago?
Sure. So going way back to when I was, a youngster, my high school English teacher had told me, you should either look into being a lawyer or you should go into public relations. I really didn't know what public relations was at the time. So I was, deciding, what is this all about? And I started doing some internships and I just fell in love with it. To me, it was something that was so exciting because it entailed so many different things and I get bored easily. So being able to do different kinds of things was really cool for me. So I guess I've been doing it for about 30 years now. I do a lot of work with lawyers, so I get to still, be on that side of the fence too, which is pretty cool. And I started at an agency, was there for about 3 years. Then I went into the corporate world for about 15 years or so. And then I just decided to start my own agency, Buzz Creators, about 14 years ago. When it seemed like the time was right. I had just left the corporate world and I had just had my second child. So I figured now's the right time to, kind of pursue my dream of going out on my own. And it's been great. It's a ton of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, you're obviously very good at it, or you wouldn't be around this long. It's a tough business. So,
I was very happy after I made it through the first 5 years because I know most businesses, if they're gonna fail, tend to fail within the first, 5 or 7 years. So getting over that hurdle was quite exciting for me.
no, I actually know exactly what you're talking about because I looked at those markers as well, and I'm like, I don't know, we still got a ways to go. What's the other shoe? Like, what's coming?
Well, COVID was certainly a challenge for all of us. So the fact that we've made it through that, horror show is another good sign. And one of the pictures that you were showing of me and my team holding up the buzz sign was from our 10th anniversary. So we were able to get this party in and it was right before COVID. So
Oh,
that
that's
was when
awesome.
times were really normal way back when. And we had, a great night just celebrating the 10-year milestone. So I look
Oh,
forward
that's
to
great.
celebrating 15 years next year.
All right, maybe I'm going to be invited to this party.
You
This sounds
will.
good.
You
I guess
will.
it
You got to
depends on
come
how the
celebrate with
interview
us.
goes. It depends on how this goes.
No, I have faith in you. It always goes, it'll go well.
Well, you brought up a good point about how we're usually behind the scenes, but yet here we are, and
Yes.
but you're an important part of how people stay in front of their audience. So I think this is great. Hey, let me ask you, why lawyer? Why did your teacher say, PR or lawyer? What was the draw there?
I think it has to do with the fact that I'm quite vocal. I've never been shy. I've always been very outgoing and very talkative. Going back to middle school when I was in music class, my teacher told me that if I practiced my flute as much as I talked, I'd be in the Philharmonic.
Oh
So,
boy.
that and comments like chatterbox, things like that have followed me my entire life. And even right now, my voice is a little, hoarse because in PR and communications, you tend to do this. I do this as well and listen a lot, but there's a lot of conversations that are always going on. And my team and I are very, very, conversational with each other, and we're always brainstorming things.
That's
And
cool.
there's just so much back and forth activity that I think the gift of gab comes in very helpful here. And I think that's why she said it. She said, use that gift of gab in a good way. Either go into PR or be a lawyer and, be out there fighting for the right things.
She wanted you to use your powers for good, I guess.
Yes, yes.
That's
And
funny.
I enjoy doing that. I always feel like whether it's a nonprofit client that's doing such great work that we're putting a spotlight on and amplifying their message and helping to kind of showcase all the great things that they're doing to the community and for the community, and really spotlighting them so that they get more donations, more volunteers, better board members. All of that stuff for nonprofits important. And then if it's a business, a for-profit business, say it's a small business that's just starting out, if people don't know about you, they can't buy your products or services. So
Very
it's
true.
really important to have that, awareness and education of what your business is offering so that, people can consider, hey, that sounds like something that, I might need or something that I might be interested in. And of course, maintaining a stellar reputation is key because we all want to do business with, good people and people that we trust. And, there's a lot of lack of trust out there these days, mainly for good reasons, because there are some unfortunately unethical people that are out there doing business. So,
Right.
referrals are key. Having somebody that says, Joe's a great guy, you should do business with him. That's going to help your business a lot. That's going to help your business a lot because, if I'm referring you and people trust me, that trust kind of comes over to you then, Joe. And, people will feel more comfortable, of course, doing business with somebody that's already gotten a stamp of approval from someone that they really trust.
No, I agree with you completely on referrals and how they generate, because it has to come from a point of trust without a question. And that, I mean, that makes up most of our business, just like I'm sure it makes up most of your business,
Yes.
that's how a small business tends to operate, just in general. But you mentioned nonprofits and corporate. What are some of the types of clients that you guys work with?
So over, the past 14 years, we've worked in pretty much every industry at this point. I didn't want to like specialize per se in just one industry because I wanted to keep that creativity that I love so much, and sharing best practices from across industries is something that I feel really makes us different. We don't, when I was in the corporate world for all those years, we used to call it drinking the Kool-Aid, that we all drank the Kool-Aid and talked the talk of the, business that we were in. So when we were working with our agency partners or external vendors, we wanted them to share, best practices and creative, thinking, from out of the box thinking and all of that stuff. So that's something that is really important to me, is making sure that we always, think in a creative manner. And by not locking ourselves into just one industry, there's so many times that we've worked with one industry that like something cool really worked well, that we then transfer that over to a different industry and it works just as great for them.
Makes sense.
So that's something that's really of interest to me. But, my background being in corporate, we've attracted a lot of corporations over the years. We've worked with Barnes and Noble and MasterCard, Heineken. So some big names like that. And then we've also worked with, a lot of smaller regional businesses, and nonprofits are always near and dear to my heart. Like I said, it's a lot of great people doing great work. So whenever we can support that community, we try to offer them, some preferential rates, because we know that their budgets are usually, very tight, but it makes us feel good that we can help give back.
Makes sense. Well, I see you guys everywhere. I mean, I think you've got a great team. I know I referenced it, and apparently someone else thinks you have a great team as well.
Oh, hi, Marissa. So
You
great to see
know,
Marissa. See, again, it's just such a great, group of people that, all flock to one another within Westchester, which is great to hear. And yes, I love seeing Marissa at events, and, our team, when we're at events, I think we just attract people to our table. It's not just the bright yellow tablecloth and all the candy on the table that we have, but I always tell people, and this is important for businesses too. If you're going to be out and about at an event, say you're sponsoring an event and you get a table there to showcase your business, make sure that you're attracting people and bringing them in. Sometimes you go to an event and you see somebody behind a table that's just kind of sitting there like this. And it doesn't necessarily pull you in to go talk to them. You really want to see that smile and that, approachability and so forth. And, hey, if they're not excited about what they're representing, how is that excitement going to,
right.
wear off to other people that are attending the event? So, when my
Very
team and I
true.
are at an event, we try to make our table really fun. We have lots of cool little tchotchkes, whether it's little pens or,
Oh, hold on. We got to
screen
zoom in on these things. Look at
cleaners.
these little guys.
I know. Come visit us for fun stuff. We have like bee chocolates. I mean, of course, we take the bee theme to the extreme, and we have like chocolates that look like bees, and all candy coated, chocolate in our brand colors and all that fun stuff. So that
Awesome.
people come over to us, and they come by to chat with us, and then we kind of explain to them what we do and give them some insight and tips. And I would say that's the other thing, is that we're very I think it stems from me that Marissa just said she loves swag. So do I. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Don't
Who
get us
doesn't like
started,
picking up a
please.
couple of fun things? But I also believe in a lot of karma. I believe in like what you put out, you kind of get back. So, whenever somebody comes by our table, if they have questions, we try to spend the time with them to answer it and give them some good tips and insight. So even if they don't have the budget to work with a PR agency, at least they walk away with some tips that are going to be helpful for them to implement on their own within their business. So it's
That's
always
great.
served me well, treating people well and putting good out there has always like come back to me. And exactly what you said, I think people look at our social channels and see our website and see some of the fun things that we do, and then they want to work here. So we get a lot of resumes sent to us like, hey, you guys look like a really fun place to work. And, when I see you out, your team has like a really fun vibe about it and so forth. And, I hold that near and dear because you spend a lot more time these days with your work family than you do your, blood family and your real family.
Right.
So, you want to make it enjoyable and really have it be a place that people are proud to work and that they're excited to work and that they're being challenged every day and they're working with good clients and good people. It really means a lot, I think, at the end of the day to people when they go home and they feel like they're valued at work and that they, did some important work that, made a change in a business's life or a nonprofit, helped further their mission because we were working with them.
Now, was that a conscious decision right from the beginning on how to build your culture and your team, or did you find yourself just gravitating towards that?
100%. So, even from a naming standpoint, I was thinking of, hey, am I going to name this company like Ray Communications or something like that? And then I started thinking about buzz and how everybody talks about that they want to create buzz and get out there. And then the name just naturally came to me. So when I was doing focus groups and I was sending it out, because of course I had to have everything like organized and I was sending it out to my circle of friends and family. And thank you again, everyone that played a role in helping to, start my business and get it rolling with me. Because there were a lot of people that were super excited and very supportive when I decided to, go out there. So when I started thinking about the name and the brand and what I wanted to build and create, I pushed it out there to a lot of people, and all the people that were leaning toward the Buzz Creators name versus, something like Ray Communications, they were really fun, creative, energetic people. And I said, that's the type of people that I really want to attract and work with. So, it was that aha moment that, what, this is the path we're going to go down. And, even 14 years later, when people come to us and they're like, I love your name. I love your branding. It's really fun. I like your website, and it's authentic to who I am and who my team is. You know, we don't have like a fun, lively brand and then we're a bunch of like stodgy people. Like we're really, whether you like us or not, like that's who we are. We're out there. It's like, there's a business for everyone. So the people that we attract to us tend to be like high energy, marketing savvy people that, are doing cool, fun things that want to get the word out.
Well, I think that makes sense. We did get a quick note here. Some of our friends at Make-A-Wish Hudson Valley had chimed in. So they,
Oh, that's fantastic. I love Make-A-Wish. Again, talking about a great organization that does amazing things. What could be better than a child that's going through a really difficult situation, getting their dream, brought to them front and center.
yeah,
That
they're
that to
pretty
me is
amazing.
amazing. I know family members or actually friends who have they're like family who have had children in that program, and they can't speak enough about what Make a Wish does. So
Yeah,
that's
they're pretty
fantastic.
amazing. We like them. So there might even be a future conversation with them coming up really soon. But we'll keep that for the
Excellent.
we'll keep that for the end, maybe.
Well, let me know so I can tune into that.
Absolutely. Well, but like you said, though, you're trying to build a certain environment, and you're looking for people who reflect that energy that you bring, and that you're trying to bring to your clients. I think that's great. It's
100%. And, people measure success differently, Joe. Some people's success is purely financial and a number. To me, it's do I lay my head down on my pillow each night feeling good, about the work that I've done and, my little role in the world. So it's a little bit of everything. It's, do I feel balanced as my career, and am I doing great things for work? Am I spending enough time with my kids and my husband? my extended family and friends. I look at all of that when I look at success, and again, are people feeling good working for me? Are clients feeling good about the work that we're putting, out to them? So all of that kind of ties into it. And then I feel like the financial success just kind of naturally occurs when you're, just doing your best work and you're happy out there. But, I know a lot of people, and I've come across a lot of people in my life that financially are doing really well, but, they might not be the happiest people. So I think it's always important to make sure that you're doing things in life that make you happy, even if it's not your career. Make sure that you're doing enough outside of your career that makes you happy. Then, pursue those hobbies, or, give back. Giving back and, volunteering really brings out the best, I think, in all of us. One of our newest clients is Volunteer New York, and they do a lot of great stuff for the community, helping to match up volunteers. So, those are the kind of things that, again, I just think are so important.
No, you're right. And that's another great outfit. Volunteer New York's excellent. And they have their big event coming up soon. So
They
you'll learn
do.
about
We're
the
helping to
Spirit
promote
Awards
it.
coming up soon.
Exactly. So again, it sounds like I'm talking a lot about nonprofits. That's obviously not the only type of client that we work with. But like I said, when you're talking about what's near and dear to my heart and some of those things, it really stems from a lot of, community and giving back and so forth.
I'm with you. I am with you. Well, interesting. So I figured I wanted to start talking about technology a little bit.
Sure.
I got to think that in the 14 years that there's probably been a lot of changes that you've gone through, since that time. How has like technology and software, how's all that evolved in the last few years for you guys?
So since I started in the field of PR, we used to this shows how my age, but we used to have to like fax out press releases to people, which as you can imagine was a complete nightmare, having to like sit by the fax machine
Yeah.
all day. Now obviously, there's press release distribution companies like PR Newswire and Business Wire that are wire services that get your press release out, very broadly to people. And then with the internet, being able to send that out to reporters and research reporters, it's basically having the whole world at your fingertips, which is what the internet has done for all of us. And it's really leveled the playing field. I would say that the internet and social media have really helped to level the playing field for small businesses. Because, way back when, if you were a small business, you were known in your little community, and that was it. That was your reach. Now, being able to have a website and a virtual storefront, and also being able to, have a really strong social media presence at a, pretty budget friendly, rate, really means a lot for small businesses. So I think from a technology standpoint, that was, of course, by far the biggest change that I've
Of
seen through
course.
PR in the business world in of itself, and being able to go direct to your audience. We always do a mix when we're doing marketing programs with our clients. Some of it is the traditional media outreach and trying to get media coverage for them and, being included in news outlets. But a lot of it is now direct. We always stress the importance of having like a strong mailing list, so that whether they're using MailChimp or Constant Contact, they can do a e-newsletter on a, semi-regular basis to stay top of mind with their audience. So I think that that's something that's really important, is to note, whenever you're out at an event or whenever you can capture people's email addresses, make sure that you're doing that. So whether it's a raffle on your table at one of those events that we talked about before when you're sponsoring an event,
Right.
or whether it's people coming into your store, making sure that you have a way to capture all their emails so that you can kind of keep them in your family of, staying top of mind with them and keeping them posted on promotions or specials or new services that you're offering, all of that good stuff.
That's very cool. Well, I would say that's a pretty big change from going from the fax machine to one big blast, and the fact of going direct to your audience is really interesting. Because sometimes I think people forget just that didn't exist forever. Like you
No,
didn't have that ability before,
no. I mean,
and now
so
we
much has
definitely
changed.
do.
Exactly.
And is that I mean, do you guys handle a lot of social media for people?
We do. We do. We do a ton of social media.
Okay.
We do a ton of digital ads. Again, it's all about creating that awareness. So at the end of the day, I look at all these different channels that we have, whether it's, going through a media outlet and getting coverage there, whether it's doing some advertising, whether it's doing social media, whether it's doing digital marketing, whether it's being in person and at an event, doing speaking engagements, securing an award nomination and hopefully winning it. All those things play into that awareness.
You mean
So
like this one?
like that one, yes. Except that one was something, obviously for myself and for my agency. Most of the time we're like the cobbler, doing everything on behalf of our clients and not enough for ourselves. So,
I'm familiar
you
with
know,
that. Yes.
I'm sure you are. I mean, I feel like that's a good sign of business, right? You should always put your clients first and not yourself. But at the same point, as a business owner, you do need to keep yourself out there too. So it's a delicate balance. There's so many things
Yeah.
all day that are coming at us as business people that we're looking to, you know, trying to prioritize what's the most important things to get done that day.
Yeah, that is true. That is a constant challenge in
It
the
is.
land of distraction that we live in, you know?
Here's something that's really relevant to you and with, a lot of the services that you offer. We're always telling our clients too about storytelling, how important, video and digital and audio and everything is to telling a story. Because when you're out there and you're pitching reporters, a lot of times they don't have staff reporters or videographers that they're going to be able to send to you. So having that in house and being able to have really good B-roll footage, good photography, a good B-roll of some of your executives kind of talking about your business's mission, all of that you can supply on demand to a news outlet is really important. So that's another thing that I would say, like, that has changed technology wise. Everybody of course has one of these in their hand. And, for on the fly stuff, being able to, create your own content from your iPhone and stuff is
Right.
great. But, there are so many times where you need that professionalism and that next level up that you need to, work with a partner on that. So having that type of, partnership is critical for organizations.
Yeah, I mean, I know we certainly saw a major uptick in video and production probably it was probably the year before, so call it 2018, 2019. It's just dramatically different. And then with the pandemic, a lot of our work was video, creation and production. And then with an added twist. But it's funny because we stayed away from it for many years because we have clients that do that hire us to do the live event.
Hmm.
And we didn't really want to get in their way, if you know what I mean. And so
Yes.
we'd refer people and we'd say, no, you should maybe for this type of event, use so and so. For this one, maybe use so and so, because everybody has a different expertise.
Yes.
And then there was really no avoiding it, So we're like, all right, we're in video production officially now,
They pulled you back in, just like in The Godfather.
Yeah, but it is, and look, and technology changes very quickly, so we love that part, and it's always interesting. But you're
Yeah.
right. Certainly, every organization at some point needs video, if some footage to describe what they're doing, and to get that out there. And
It's so critical because, people don't want to just read or hear a story. Many people are visual and they want to see a story brought to life, and it really tugs at your heartstrings when you see something versus just reading it. So I think that is really important. And especially these days, because, now we're in this like hybrid world
right,
that, half of the stuff is still taking place virtually and half the stuff is now back in person. So, being able to kind of flawlessly go back and forth between those two worlds is really critical these days. And, you want to bring that same professionalism of an in-person event to a virtual event, and back and forth. So, I think that virtual is here to stay, but I'm happy that in person is also coming back as well too. Because as a PR person, I like being out and about and always meeting new people and chatting with people. And some of that is not as easy to do virtually. When it's somebody that you
Right.
already know and you already have an established relationship with, I think that, virtual is fine. But in creating that relationship and starting it out, I still feel like in person always, again, builds that trust that we were talking about earlier.
Now, I am curious. So, how do you think the TikTok, generation that we're in right now, how do they perceive? How does that affect you on the PR side and public relations? Do you have to appeal to that? And Instagram is heavy video as well as photos. Like, do you have to appeal to that right away, or is it dependent on the client and the business?
It really depends on the client and who their target audience is. Certainly, anything that's visual, say it's a catering hall for weddings, and they're trying to reach a younger demographic that, might be newly engaged. There's a lot of people that got engaged over the holidays and now with Valentine's Day yesterday and so forth.
Right.
So, if one was trying to reach that audience, obviously, video and reels and everything are really important for them to do so, to showcase that. And, having a presence on things like Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram is really important for them, as is Pinterest. When I was renewing my vows for my 10-year anniversary with my husband, I was on Pinterest building out a pretty board of, visually what I was thinking. It was kind of like, my vision board of what I was envisioning our 10-year vow renewal looking like in Hawaii, and
That's
kind of
cool.
pulling a little bit from here and pulling a little bit from there. So again, for something like that, that's really important because everything is visual and everything's pictures and videos and so forth. Whereas for some of our more professional services type clients, if you're an accountant or lawyer, it might not be as important stuff. So again, it really
Depends on the
depends
client.
on who you're looking to reach and, what type of business that you have. But I would say more and more people, you know, even our clients that are doctors and lawyers now realize the importance of being on social media. Years ago, they just had to be a good doctor or a good lawyer. But now,
Right.
again, to kind of break through the clutter and everything that's out there and so much noise, they have to stay top of mind with people as well. So, being a thought leader and being out there on social media, for some businesses, obviously LinkedIn makes a lot more sense because it's more of a professional B2B channel. So we do a lot with clients, on LinkedIn as well.
Well, I
So
would imagine you're helping them decide which is the best fit for them, which channel and
we are. And that's what's really important is, deciding which channels are the most important for you and then coming up with some fun content for that. Because again, even if you are a more traditional professional type company, social media at the end of the day is just about that, being social. So you have to be willing to show a little bit of like a personal side and a fun side to your business. It can't be all, business and no play. People will tune you out really quickly and they're not going to find it appealing. So, going back to what you were talking about earlier about that culture, these days, a lot of our clients are having trouble recruiting top talent. The talent wars are still pretty
yep.
lively out there. So, again, showing that culture on their social media channels and why they're a good place to work, and why they're better than their competitors. Competitors are a lot of times looking at your social media channels. So, by showcasing all the great things that you're doing, you might be prying people from some of the competitors to want to work with you because, hey, my company doesn't do that. My company doesn't, last summer we did a fun spa day where, I took the whole team and we closed for the day. We did a little bit of brainstorming for clients in the morning. And then it was all about like relaxing and recharging because we're always so go, go, go that it was really
Nice.
just, giving my team a moment to just like find some inner peace and relaxation. Well, we got a lot of
You-
people that sent us resumes saying, "Oh my God, I don't get a fun spa day where I currently work in the city or anywhere else."
I think I
So
could use a fun spa day right now. I'm a little
we could
tense.
all always use a fun spa day. But again, showing that culture and showing what you do for your team and as a team, and how you celebrate each other, and those are the social media posts that we get so much feedback on when somebody gets a promotion here at Buzz Creators, or when
It's very cool.
when we were at an event and we are showcasing some really cool food or cool events, things like that. Those are the kind of things that get so much engagement, not necessarily the like luxury type posts.
Right.
So, we always suggest to our clients that are kind of still figuring out social media when they come to us, you know, put it out there, share some fun stuff because those are the things that people are looking for social media.
Yeah, you're right. It's supposed to be a little bit fun too. It's not just ads, right? It's supposed to be a little fun. Show a little personality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because
Oh,
that shows
that's a good
people the
point.
expectations of what you represent, right? So now they know what they're
Absolutely.
signing up for more as either a client or as an employee of yours. And I think that that's so important. Like people always want to know like what to expect when they're meeting you or working with you. Like even for one of our clients, which is a healthcare company, they have profiles and videos of their doctors on their website. And I love that because now you can watch the doctor, talking a little bit about them and their background and, their approach to healthcare. So you feel like you get to know them a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
Making
so
them
that's a lot
human.
more fun than the days of a yellow pages, right? Where you would just like see a flat ad in a yellow page business and you didn't really know who was going to be on the other side. Now you kind of get to know that and,
That's
you
great.
pick the personality that's going to be a good fit for you.
It's true. That's very true. It's a really good point. Now, what do you think is going to happen kind of in the future between for your clients or for buzz creators? I mean, do you see technology changing? Are there maybe other avenues for growth? I mean, what do you think it looks like trend wise?
I mean, I think everything is constantly changing. And that's why when I'm hiring people, I'm always looking at people that have that like natural curiosity to learn. Because if you're not every day learning a new skill or a new talent or something new with technology that's affecting all of us in business, it's very easy to be outdated with your skill set these days. So you constantly have to be looking to learn. So we're always whether we're going to events and we're challenging ourselves to go to events and attend like sessions that are workshops and seminars, or we're attending webinars online. I mean, there's so many great webinars that you can learn from. And then we all have a LinkedIn learning account that we're all tasked with
That's
taking at
great.
least one course a month, again, to keep our skills fresh, because all the algorithms are constantly changing, that you have to know what you're working with. The technology is constantly changing. Um, you know, things like is Canva is one of those technology apps that have made our lives so much easier also over the
Right.
years. That makes graphic design so much more fun and easy to do. So in the past, we used to maybe have two people that were really good with design in the agency, but now everybody's kind of stepped up their game and can create, nice social media posts that are, on brand, or a nice flyer for a client or something like that. So, again, it's what we talked about earlier, even with photography and videography, right? Everybody should kind of have a baseline that they're good at it. And then there's going to be people that are like super experts at it. So, that's kind of how we operate internally at our agency. I want everybody to kind of have a baseline that everybody's kind of comfortable with all these different technologies. And then among our team, some of us are like more experts at, given topics, depending on it. But I do feel like everybody needs to have a basic understanding and, utilization of pretty much every technology, that we're touching from the PR and
Oh,
marketing
that's
end.
great. That is exciting.
It
I
is.
mean,
And it
because,
keeps every day, new, because again, when you look back, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, everything was so different in my field versus how it is now. So, it's definitely another thing on the to-do list, keep educating yourself. But
absolutely.
it's just so beyond important.
Well, not every business is like that. So I find it very exciting, and no 2 days are really the same, kind of thing if you're constantly learning. So I think it's a point well taken.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the things that I love most about this industry is that no 2 days are the same. One day we're writing a
Yeah.
press or one moment we're writing a press release, then we're planning a fun VIP influencer event, then we're, filling out an award nomination for a client. Then we're trying to figure out, okay,
Very
this
cool.
client's going to be at this event. How do we maximize their sponsorship there? So we're always looking at all these different things. And again, it makes it so much more fun because it's not the same thing day after day. Like every day we're like, I can't believe it's 5 o'clock already. So I had jobs
That's a
in
good
high
thing.
school that I was like a clock watcher, that I was like, oh my gosh, it's only, 12 o'clock or it's only 2 o'clock. And the day just goes by so slow. Whereas in our office, we're always like, oh my gosh, how did it get to be 4 o'clock already?
Ah,
So
that's
that's
good.
a good thing and a bad thing, right? The day goes by really quick, but you still have so much stuff you have to do.
No, I know what you mean. Before we wrap up, I was curious about your pay it forward model and some of the community work that you've been involved in. Why do you get so involved?
I mean, I think it just, again, is part of who I am. Before, when I was talking about that karma, I just believe that, with happiness and success that I have in life, I want to spread that on to other people. So whatever I can do in my role to, whether it's speaking at a local college and talking to some of the up and coming PR and marketing students about like the future of the industry and the history of the industry, and kind of helping them become the next, PR professional. I enjoy doing that. Whether it's helping a nonprofit to, showcase all the great things that they're doing. Like one of our clients is nonprofit Westchester, and they, help all the nonprofits in and around the area. So showcasing like all the great work that they do. And, we just recently talked to some of the small nonprofits there, and I did a presentation about how to create more buzz for your small nonprofit. And that was really rewarding because afterwards, a lot of the nonprofits came up to me and they said, that they got some really great tips that they can implement within their own organization. So again, it's teaching people how to fish, right? And giving them that opportunity to kind of make themselves better. The same way I'm always trying to like learn and, enhance my own skills and become a better person myself. I want to help other people to do that as well.
Very
I just
cool.
recently kicked breast cancer's butt last
Oh,
year. So that's something that's really near and dear to my heart too, is just, again, spreading the word on that and the importance of going in for your screenings and early detection and so forth. So for that, I've been doing a lot of work with Support Connection, which is a great organization. So, during this conversation, I've probably mentioned at least like 5 or 6 different nonprofits.
you are a PR person, so
Yes, it's us as an agency, aligning with good people and good partners and, helping them to do good things to just spread some happiness. There's so much negativity, I think, in this world now. And, with again, what we've all been through with COVID and, our own personal challenges, I think, just finding the gratitude of every day is an important thing, and having just faced a medical crisis myself, I really look at that, and every day is a gift. It's people say that all the time, but it really is. It's an important thing to look at that and to help the next person behind you. Like now, I like reaching out to women that are facing the battle and that are kind of just starting out their journey with breast cancer,
yeah.
and being able to kind of help tell them, like, hey, I went through it myself. It was horrible, and unbearable at times, but you fight through it and you get to the other side. And now I'm feeling great. All my energy's coming back, and giving them that hope that other people gave me. So, I know that's a long-winded answer to your question, but it's all these kind of things that play into what makes it so important for me to, give back and just, help people. And I think as a mom, it's even more, weighs on my shoulder even more now because I have 3 wonderful kids, and I want to make sure that, they continue to thrive in the world and have a good place to raise their future families.
I think that's about the best reason you're going to get. You know, I mean, you've got the right outlook, and I think that's probably why you're doing so well, because your outlook is filled with gratitude, and you're really you're trying to help everybody. It's really great. You guys are
Thank
doing
you.
good things over there,
Thank
and
you. I appreciate
I,
that.
everybody got to check out buzz-creators.com. You got to go check out Christina and her team. I mean, look at how fun they look. Who doesn't want to be part of that team? Look at them.
We
It's
we
good
try
stuff.
to be fun. obviously, life every day is not always fun, but you pick it up and the next morning you come at it with positivity again. I think a lot of it is what you make of it, right? You can look at it
Absolutely.
and look at the negativity, or you can look at the positivity. And I choose, on a mostly daily basis to look at the positive side of things. So I think that plays well with this industry.
Well, I think you've got this figured out. So I'm sure there'll be a nice party for the 15th year. Can't
Yes, and
wait.
speaking of positive, thank you for making this experience such a positive one. It was a pleasure chatting with you and, getting to catch up with each other. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I've learned a lot. Now I know who to refer you to. This is great.
We do love referrals. We appreciate and love referrals, so thank
Well,
you
I
for that
think we
one
said they
too.
were built on trust, right? So there we go.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Christina, thank you very much for your time today. I know that you have a lot going on. So, but
Thank you,
I
Joe. This was a pleasure.
hopefully we get to see each other, IRL, like like Finch would say, as in real life real soon. But I'm sure we'll be getting together at some point.
I hope so. And yes, hello, Ryan. I hope to see you out there again soon too. All right. Have a great day, Joe.
Very good. Thank you, Christina.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean, how great of a guest is she? And just the right attitude to help people. And I mean, she gave lots of great tips today, just from the basics of all the PR basics. If they don't know you, they're probably not going to buy from you. Like, we're not reinventing the wheel on that one, but yet nobody does it. So there's so many, especially small businesses. I mean, you got to actually think about it. If you need some help, now you know who to call. Reach out to Buzz Creators, reach out to Christina and her team. They're not just fun, they actually know what they're doing. So that's a good thing. But listen, we're gonna wrap this up. I want to make sure everybody checks us out. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. When you're there, you got to hit the subscribe button. We're going to be live every Wednesday at 1. And don't forget, we're going to do some little short clips, and you can see that on Instagram and Facebook. But that is all we're going to have for today. And you're not going to have to hear about any Stay Golden, Pony Boy, or any of that other stuff that Finch comes up with, because we didn't allow him on the show today. Maybe we'll bring him back next week. But either way, listen, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you again to Christina and her team from Buzz Creators. And we'll talk next Wednesday, maybe at 1. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.